We've been looking at the purpose of surrender, part 2. And before I move on to the next message in the teachings of Inner Ramana, I'd actually like to look at this message just a little bit more. It felt to me when I read the last paragraph in the last video that we went over that too quickly. I don't really have anything new to say about that, but there's just this feeling that we should look at that a little more slowly. Sometimes when we look at things quickly, we forget them. If we look at them slowly, we remember them and we're much more likely to implement them. So what I'm going to do is turn to the teachings of Inner Ramana, page 11. And I'm going to start with the first full paragraph on the page. It says, world-focused thought is always an error. It is attachment. Therefore, it is dreaming or remaining deluded. Again, world-focused thought is always an error. If we keep that in mind, the next paragraph makes perfect sense. Let's look at the next paragraph. To help people with world-focused thoughts by providing world-focused solutions is assisting one to dream. Therefore, the awakened one, who has accepted the role of continuing the awakening, will not assist in world-focused concerns by providing world-focused answers. The awakened one will assist world focus by observing the filter with the one who has a desire to awaken. Again, the purpose of the teachings of Inner Ramana is to help us wake up from delusion, from the delusion of thinking we are these body-mind personalities and the world is real, to help us wake up from fear and suffering to the truth, the eternal truth of what we are. So, one purpose of surrender is to help us let go of thinking, because thinking is the filter that makes us believe the world and the body-mind personality. Another purpose of surrender is what a lot of people would call being the observer. It's a process of detachment. It's a process of letting go of believing. So let's take a scenario. Let's say, for example, there is something that could be mailed, some letter to someone, but this has something to do with a problem in your life. You're undecided about whether you should mail the letter or not mail the letter. You ask within, what am I to do? How am I to see this? You receive an answer. Possibly you're told to take a breath, trust, and mail the letter. So you follow out those actions. You take a breath, you trust, and you mail the letter. But after you mail the letter, you notice a lot of fear that's coming up within you. There's a part of you that wants to run back and take that letter out of the mailbox before the mailman shows up. The awakened one is a part of your mind. It's a way of seeing. It's a guidance that comes from awakened perspective. And what it does is it guides you to observe all of your feelings, all of your reactions, all of your thoughts from a pure observer point of view. The action is done. You were guided to take a breath, trust, and mail the letter. You've done that, but now there's a panic. What am I to do? Observe the panic. Notice the thoughts. Notice that it's coming from world focus. Notice that I'm believing this world is real. Notice I'm believing this is an important matter. It has something to do with me. Somehow I or my family were at risk because of this situation. Observe everything. That's what the awakened one does. You could say the script or karma, which we will learn more about as we go further in the teachings of Inner Ramana. The script or karma guide the actions, and the actions have a lot to do with the whole. We could say with the all of universe, with everything that is unfolding. But after you take the actions that you are guided to do, there may be a personal interpretation that makes that action all about me. The awakened one will guide you to observe your personal reaction. You're going to learn to watch it from a state of further and further back in observer, so that you can see that it is nothing but a personal interpretation that's continuing to teach you from the filter of the mind that you are this body, mind, personality. So there are really two purposes of surrender. One is to continue acting in the world in the way that you are meant to act without the thinking. Two is to teach you to observe your personal interpretations so that you can really begin to see through them. Now, Inner Ramana is going to teach us a lot more about surrender as we go through the book. But I wanted to go ahead and stop here because I know that some of you are going to begin practicing surrender now. I know that some of you feel the calling. So I wanted you to really realize there are two ways to surrender. It isn't just about what am I going to do. There's also the surrender of observing without action my inner reactions, my emotions, my interpretation. When fear says, go and grab that letter back out of the mailbox before the mailman comes, we're going to check with guidance. Guidance is being consistent and saying, mail the letter and trust. So we're going to notice that our inner reaction, our interpretation is different from guidance. And we're going to learn to watch without reacting according to personal interpretation. These are all beginning steps in letting go of the belief that I am this body, mind, personality, so that I can make room for realizing what I really am. Let's go ahead and read the last paragraph in The Purpose of Surrender, Part 2. When one is not world-focused, guidance within the world occurs naturally. Non-attached activity within perception is not a hindrance to awakening. Attached activity is a means to clinging to the dream. If we go back to the example of mailing the letter, I am non-attached when I can simply say, no matter what the situation is in the world, what am I to do? Write this letter and mail it. Boom. And then I just go on. I have no more thought about it. Go on to the next situation. Now what am I to do? I am attached if I ask, what am I to do? And I go to mail the letter, and then I have lots of thoughts about that, doubts. And so what I want to do is learn to let go of attachment by observing all of that and doing nothing. Again, this is a process of moving from believing we are the body, mind, personality, the world is real, to an awakened state of mind. Surrender is a bridge. It's a path. It's a practice. Inner Ramana introduces us to other practices as well. In the next video, we're going to look at another practice. Until then, begin practicing surrender and have fun. Bye.